Hello, and welcome to episode 2 of the Snackology podcast, where we talk to you about snacks, everything about snacks, and we just have a great time talking about it. We're not experts, but we have so much fun talking about snacks. And you are joining us for episode 2, where we're talking about the Ritz Handi-Snacks crackers and cheese dip and the breadsticks and cheese dip. You are joining us today with myself. My name is Reed, and my good friend Josh.
Was that my introduction this time?
That was your introduction.
It was a little better than last time. I'll introduce you.
Thank you.
You're listening to Snackology with Reed and Josh.
Perfect.
How was that?
I love it.
Okay.
It was the perfect way to start. Hey, so just before we get started, we're going to kind of do, I think we're kind of coming to the conclusion of our Twitter shout-outs because we've beyond 20.
We've become wildly popular.
It's been 2 weeks, and all I can say is we gained about 6 or 7 more.
It's more than I could ever hope or dream of.
If all we have is 20, then this is all worth it. And if it was just us, it was all worth it anyway. The first person, and I'm just going down the list, not sequential order of who followed us after the initial 15. Our good friend at Taylor Punch, we talked about him in the last episode, bringing the UK into this a little bit. And Josh, you want to talk about kind of what he gave us this week?
Yeah. I guess a British biscuit is still, it's a cookie, but they still have normal biscuits. But it's not like a normal cookie. It's a different type of cookie.
Exactly.
So thank you, Taylor.
Thank you for the information. I will read everyone exactly what he said.
Right, because I forgot.
And it's great. The UK biscuit is not a direct translation of the American cookie and is in crackerish form. See right. Now, we retweeted this image, so if you go on our Twitter feed, you should be able to find that pretty easy.
So if you're curious, you can get right down to the juicy goose and see the picture.
Yeah. And kind of looking at it now, it looks like what he's talking about. It's compared to what we call a biscuit.
Right.
It looks like a biscuit on the image.
Both things look delicious.
Yeah, they do. And we're just extremely grateful that he was able to give us that information.
Thanks, Taylor.
Thank you so much. The second person we kind of wanted to talk about, as my followers page is loading, is this guy named Marvo, which his Twitter handle is at the Impulsive Buy, which kind of his Twitter description is reviewer of bad things for you. So fast food, junk food. Perfect.
Marvo's the only follower who we don't know personally. So thanks, Marvo. That's super cool of you.
Yeah. Hey, don't be afraid to tell anybody about us. We will not say no. The next person, Jonah Torres, good friend of ours, at Jonatron98. Thanks for following. You were super excited about episode 2.
That's a cool Twitter name, Jonah.
I like that. Hey, the next one is our good friend Oscar Floyd Reyes, at Oscar Floyd Reyes.
Our buddy.
And hey, just glad that you decided to listen in. And his wife, Ashley Reyes, at areyes321. That's a good Twitter handle. And Oscar's brother-in-law at Beezyfield, right? Beezyfied. Excuse me, I read that wrong. After that, we have at Kaylee Caudill07, also somebody I know who's excited. And this next person followed us specifically to get a shout-out, so not going to let that go. My future sister-in-law, Eunice, at Nietzsche EG. Hey, here's your shout-out. Thanks for following us.
Congratulations on your shout-out, Eunice.
Super.
#superfan.
Yeah, that's exactly what you used. #superfan. Josh's dad, at CG Dowdy, with a total of 11 tweets.
Yeah.
Thank you. And also his wife, Josh's mom, at Anna Marie Dowdy. Awesome. Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
This guy was very excited to hear about our podcast. He was one of the ones before we had actually started it.
Yeah, he got me excited just by his excitement.
Yeah, exactly. At Who922, Mr. Brent Green. Thank you so much.
Hey, are you talking U2 to me?
U2, great band.
Yep.
That happens. We finally had our good friend at, let me do this, at #JKelly follow us, and that's hashtag spelled out. John Kelly, who we said was a jerk for not following us last time. And last person, who actually is the guy who suggested the snack for today, and we took it because we loved the idea, is our good friend Christian Eaker at EakerC95. He says, I like cake, so he's a perfect guy to
Christian was a big supporter of the first podcast.
Yeah. Oh, he's listened to it so many times.
Yeah.
And he's going to hear this a lot.
I think the last count was 5 times.
Yeah, I think so. So thank you for that.
This one, he's probably going to double this one because we're talking about him. So at least
he's going to want to hear his name so many times.
At least 10 times. Our friend Christian recommended today's snack, which is the Ritz Handi-Snack.
And if you've ever heard of these snacks, if you've ever seen them, we'll describe them just in case you're not sure. Because I, before this, actually didn't hear of them called Handi-Snacks. I always thought it was the cheese and cracker thing.
Yeah, I didn't know it had a name. I never thought of the name. I just knew what they were.
Yeah, you'd see them on the shelf. And you'd say, oh, there's those things with the cheese and crackers. And that's all I saw it as. So, very cool. Before we get started with this week's snacks, we're going to talk about last week's snack, the Oreo, and follow up on them. Josh, how did you feel a few hours after having your Oreos?
You know, I felt fine, but the milk hurt my tummy. I had a little tummy ache afterwards from the milk.
Are you lactose intolerant in any
No,
way?
I don't think so. And then it wasn't whole milk.
Yeah, it was reduced fat.
Yeah, so I don't know why.
I don't know if the milk was...
I forced myself to finish the milk, and it gave me a tummy ache.
So aside from the milk, though, everything was pretty good.
Yeah, everything was fine. I still enjoyed the Oreo hours after. I remembered like good memories of eating the Oreo.
And this was 2 weeks ago. This was 2 weeks ago from today. So it's been a while, but you know what? I think we have good song. The way that I was feeling afterwards, there was actually a light parade that night, so I was able to remember that night pretty well. And I can say that I felt pretty good. And I remember about 10 o'clock, which was about, I was heading home about that time, and I was like, you know what? I still feel okay. Still feel good. And we recorded the podcast at what, 6 o'clock?
Mm-hmm. It was dark when we finished.
Yeah, so it was maybe, I don't know, maybe we started later, maybe 6:30, something like that.
Sounds right.
It was a few hours, so it was a good 2 or 3 hours until I'd realized, hey, I'm still feeling all right. And so, hey, Oreo did just fine as a good sweet snack.
So you still stand by your Oreo rating?
I believe so. I think it sticks right to it.
So do I. Except if we ever review milk, I don't know if I'd rate them as good as the Oreo because they hurt my tummy.
And whenever you have a bad experience, you have to go off that experience, even though no matter what people say, whether it was like, oh, I had such a great experience there, like Taco Bell, that was so great. But if someone was like, I got food poisoning there, that's going to be their experience and they can stick with that.
Which is 98% of the people who eat at Taco Bell.
Didn't we see a feed full of you know better than I do.
Yeah, I follow Neil Hamburger on Twitter. He's a comedian, and he just retweeted everyone who said they got sick from eating at Taco Bell. But just like in a 6 hour span, there was probably like 500 tweets.
and that's pretty sad. And you know what? I haven't gotten food poisoning from Taco Bell. Hopefully I never will, but
I've had Taco Bell that hurt my tummy.
And it's kind of inevitable.
Yeah.
It's going to happen with Taco Bell. So do you want to start with our new snack, the Handi-Snacks by Ritz?
Yeah, so I looked up a little bit of history on the snack right before we started recording, and that's all there is, just a little bit of history. The article said that the snack was introduced by Nabisco in the mid-1980s. It didn't give a specific date. It said mid-1980s, and it was directed towards school kids who packed their own lunch. So little boys wanting to be big boys that didn't have the money to buy lunch, or they just like to bring their own lunch, or the parents made them bring their own lunch. I'd prefer to bring my lunch when I was a little boy wanting to be a big boy.
Agreed. Well, and then two, what we have to take into consideration, we did use Wikipedia again as our reference.
Yeah.
And according to what you told me, I don't know if we can trust it.
Yeah, so it also said that Nabisco sold the Handi-Snack to, what cheese company was it? It was Kraft? They sold it to Kraft, but like everything on the packaging still says Nabisco. Nothing about it says Kraft. And then also they have variations of like You can dip an Oreo in the cream. Watch, it's on the box.
Oh.
For the listeners, there's a picture on the box. And that's still Nabisco, so I don't see how they sold this company to get it together, Wikipedia.
Yeah, and it has the Nabisco corner on it, the red corner on it, just like the Oreo. And it's obviously not owned by anyone but Nabisco. So this is our second Nabisco snack of the week. This is the second Nabisco snack this podcast.
It's not Nabisco K. Did that work?
I think so.
Man, should we restart the recording?
Well, no, they can just deal with it.
Yeah, we'll cut that out.
Yep. So,
Engineer Colton, please cut that out.
Engineer Colton.
Colton, please don't talk.
Colton's not with us today.
Engineer Colton's not here.
You couldn't hear him anyway, though, because he doesn't have a microphone.
Yeah, he probably wouldn't. He couldn't be able to keep his mouth shut if he was here right now.
No, he wouldn't be able to stop talking. So this snack, there's not a whole lot of history about it, but we do know that it came out in the mid 80s. And hey, 80s was a great time for some things, and it was a terrible time for other things. I think hairstyle was one of those things that was kind of rough in the 80s. Mm-hmm. Although music, however,
hair bands bad.
Yeah, a lot of hair bands at that time, a lot of glam metal bands and stuff like that. Kind of that's whenever the whole transformation of I'm a dude, but I'm going to dress like a girl came along.
Good things. E.T., the movie.
Yes. Also, a bunch of Star Trek movies came out that time. So that was great for that. Regardless of the way that people dressed, I thought the music from the 80s was generally pretty good.
Yeah.
I think that's whenever they finally got over whenever synthesizers were a new thing and were like, hey, let's start making cool grooves with this instead of just, whoa, go all over the place with these synthesizers.
Right. And then also big with Tom Hanks.
Yes. Tom Hanks is big today because of the 80s.
Right.
Maybe not because of the 80s, but he's just part of that time period.
He should, next time he wins an award, he's like, thank you, 80s.
Thank you, 1980, for all your work.
This is because of the 80s.
Okay, well, I think we're ready to start looking at the packaging a little bit. That was our second step, I believe.
Yeah.
And we'll go through the steps really quick. It's history. We're going to look at the packaging and the branding to talk about kind of our impressions of what the snack is going to be before we actually get there, because that's really important. We're going to talk about our first impressions, what it tastes like whenever we have actually the snack, whenever we put it in our mouth. Then our second impressions directly afterwards, not with the food in our mouth, but how we feel afterwards. And then just kind of closing thoughts and our ratings.
Mm-hmm. So I don't know if we mentioned this. The box we got, I guess they're both considered Handi-Snacks. One of them is the cheese dip with a Ritz cracker, and the other one is a cheese dip with a breadstick.
Yeah.
So we're going to be trying both of those today. And we have to eat the entire thing. So we're going to try to eat all the cheese, if that's what you call it, as much as we can in order so we can get the entire serving size.
Yes. So the calories on this, let's talk about the serving size. The serving size, that's nice, is 1 pack for both of these. The first one, the cheese and crackers dip, is 100 calories. That's not too bad. Mm-mm. Especially for someone who's wanting a healthy snack.
They even praise it on the box. There's a big thing that says only 100 calories.
Yeah. And okay, let's talk about this. One is the crackers and cheese dip, and one is premium.
Oh.
One is premium. Interesting how that came to be.
Yeah.
The other one, the breadsticks and cheese, is 110 calories. So something about that extra 10 just makes it 10 extra. Oh, it must be the extra 2 grams of sugar. That's what it is. So one serving size is 1 pack. So 1 pack of each is 1 serving size. Not too bad. So let's talk about the package, what we see on the front a little bit. You want to hit on that?
Yeah, so it's yellow. It says Nabisco in the corner. It's like the box is almost split in half. It has the crackers and cheese on the upper part of the box, and the lower part, it's split with the word premium almost, with the breadsticks and cheese. And right in the middle it has a slice of cheese and it says made with real cheese.
Which is a good sign.
Yeah, but I've had these before. And I haven't had these in a really long time, since I was a little boy wanting to be a big boy.
Hey, well, this is going to be perfect.
Yeah, so maybe the cheese is better, because I remember it just being like a yellow gob of flavor.
I had these not too long ago. I didn't have the Ritz brand, however. So we'll see how this cheese compares with the off brand.
Which is an excellent cracker.
Absolutely it is. They make great crackers. So, basically, it's a square-shaped box, which is interesting. They have the terrible portion right on top rather than on the side. They have it on the front cover. They have the portion where you tear it off.
I guess that way you can keep the snacks in the box. So they want you to keep the box.
Exactly, which is a cool thing for them to want you to keep the box because they spend money on that. In this box contain 15 snack packs. And they are both enlarged to show detail, so they're actual size.
Yeah, they decided to include one extra of the crackers and cheese.
I was just about to mention that.
There's 8 of those and 7 of the breadsticks, which I don't want to give my opinion away already, but they made the right move, adding the extra crackers and cheese and not the breadsticks.
Right. Now, you can get the single of both. You can get the premium on its own, and you can get the crackers and cheese on your own. But these are just so similar that we just decided to take them both on at once because same company, same idea, just different bread.
And it was in the same box.
And it was in the same box, so it worked out perfectly. One thing that I want to mention real quick before we actually open it up and start looking at it, we want to get snacks that people can get, you know? Like sometimes once in a while we'll handle something special, you know, but most of the time we want to get a snack that you can go to Walmart and pick up on your own. Just because that's an available snack. Sometimes we'll have those special ones, you know, every once in a while where it's like, hey, this is super exclusive. You know, this is kind of a tricky one to find. But I think it's good to be able to find these snacks. And these were bought today at Walmart or wherever you went. I don't know.
Yeah, I went to Walmart. When we first decided on the snack, I was worried because I haven't had one in so long. I'm like, man, where am I going to find that?
Yeah.
Like, where do they sell those? I had no problem finding it at Walmart.
Right away. And I think it's a snack that people sometimes forget.
It was with the crackers.
Yeah. And I think it's, you kind of, whenever you grow up, whenever you become an adult and you're done being a child, you kind of forget about these.
When you're a big boy.
Yeah, whenever you're a big boy, you kind of forget about this stuff. And, this is interesting. This is interesting. I just noticed this on the package right above the calories. Look. It says Ritz above the 100 calories, and it says premium above the 110. Now, is that just separation of, so you know, which one's which, or is this Ritz crackers with the Nabisco Handi-Snacks, and this is just like the premium thing that they make?
Yeah.
It's just like an exclusive.
So what I get from this is that the breadsticks we're about to eat aren't made by Ritz.
Yes.
Only the top crackers and cheese Ritz cracker is the only thing that Ritz put their name on. So from what I can tell, they're not involved in the breadstick.
Right. Okay.
Which, not to give my opinion away, I can tell.
Well, let's go ahead and dig in. Let's open up this package. Sorry about the messy opening. I'm just not very good at this. Ooh, it opens on the side like so.
It's a nice box.
Oh, now hold the phone. Oh, that's not really designed to be torn off, but you can't open it like this. Ooh, I'm sorry about that loud pop.
All right, so what's on top? The breadsticks are on top.
Yeah. I have a feeling that's because Ritz is kind of the sub-brand in this, Nabisco being the head brand, and they want their breadsticks to be the first thing that come out.
These are Nabisco breadsticks.
And you know what's also interesting that I quite enjoy? They're not held together by plastic. You don't have to rip them off.
You don't have to rip them apart and worrying about tearing like most of the other packaging off. Holding this in my hand, I'm slapped in the face with nostalgia. Just memories of me being a little boy, wanting to be a big boy.
And Josh, you're becoming a big boy today. There's a small safety hazard that I want to mention now that I'm looking at the two individual snacks. On the Ritz Handi-Snacks, there's a choking hazard. It says, do not put red stick in mouth. Dispose of stick after use. Interesting that they don't want you to eat that.
Yeah, I'm sure if you've had this before, you know that the cracker, the Ritz cracker and cheese comes with a little red stick that you're supposed to scoop the cheese with and spread it on the cracker if you desire.
And this may be something that we mentioned, but will that create a mess?
Maybe. I don't know.
I mean, will that...
It's been so long.
I believe some people might enjoy the red stick just because you don't... It's kind of it's almost like a utensil using a knife. Kind of a... I don't know how to say it, like kind of an exquisite thing to do. But maybe that's just me thinking. Other than that, I think pretty straightforward what it looked like on the front of the package is what it looks like here on the snacks. So, very cool. And I think we're ready to kind of dive in to the very first one.
Yeah, I don't know which one to try first.
I love that the Ritz brand is on them. That makes me want to try the Ritz ones first because it says Ritz and I know how good Ritz is. But I also want to look at the premium ones because I kind of want to save the Ritz for last.
I'm looking at the premium ones. There are 8 breadsticks in the premium, and there are only 4 Ritz crackers in the Ritz one.
However, the crackers do add up to maybe 2 breadsticks.
And they're the same amount of cheese.
Same amount of cheese, same package size. Looks like they use the same package, just a different label on top. Very cool. So yeah, I think we're ready to kind of get into this a little bit. So as we open up our packages, any thoughts about the packaging? Well, let's talk about how it feels to open.
I was a little worried. I opened the breadstick part first, and then as soon as I hit the little plastic divider, it stopped pulling. Mm-hmm. So I kind of had to give it a little muscle, and I was worried that the cheese was going to go everywhere. But I forgot that this is more like Elmer's glue than it is cheese.
It stuck right in. What I was a little worried about more was the crackers flying out. Because like having the kind of, you know, like you said, putting in some muscle and kind of tugging on that last plastic piece before you get to the cheese, I was kind of like, whoa, the crackers are going to go everywhere and I have to pick it up. No, didn't happen.
Yeah, see, so I understand, like, this is the only packaging I ever remember of these. So they made these to go into, like, lunches, school lunches, lunch pels, lunch boxes.
I think they're the perfect size. Perfect size to fit in this lunch box.
And you can hold it in one hand, but the thing is, what do I do with the wrapper that I just took off? I'm having to put it on your table, trying not to make a mess.
Yeah, and sometimes what I think happens, like on the wrapper that I'm looking at, there's a little bit of cheese residue on the wrapper, and because it's stuck to the wrapper. But that can be a problem. So if you're ever having these snacks, please, for the sake of the table or wherever you're at, whatever you're doing, maybe you have to put it on your lap. If you put the cheese side down, you will have cheese on your pants, and it will be a problem.
Don't be a monster and put the cheese side down.
Do the cheese side up, and you will be praised for it. So you were smelling the breadstick, were you not?
Yeah, just to see what it smelled like.
I did the same thing as earlier, and my goodness, it made me excited.
And not me. For some reason, I'm not excited for the breadstick. I'm excited for the Ritz cracker.
You know what? I haven't had the Ritz cracker ones in a long time. It's been a while.
It's been a while.
But these, however, I had last week. Not this exact brand, however, but this one in particular I had.
Okay, I'm just going to go for it. I'm dipping the breadstick in the cheese.
And just like last week, I'm going to go ahead and give you Josh's expression as he does.
I'm not getting a ton of cheese. It's just a dip, and just a portion of it is covered in cheese.
Okay. So he just took the first bite, and I wouldn't say there's any look of concern like we had that Oreo last week.
I have a question. Am I supposed to double dip? Like, this is mine. I'm not going to share.
Right.
So it's okay to double dip, right? Because I don't want to eat just a dry breadstick.
Right.
Because it was a little dry.
Right.
So I'm going to double dip, everybody.
Okay, so as Josh is double dipping, I'm going to make an opinion. I don't think double dipping is that bad. Like, even whenever you're sharing with other people. I may be crazy for it, and I know some people just cannot stand it. But I don't think it's so bad. I don't mind the double dipping thing.
I don't have a different opinion. I think it's kind of disgusting. It depends. Like, okay, I'm gonna do an example. You guys can't see this. This is If you're just listening, which is everybody, I'm dipping one side of the breadstick in, taking a bite.
Bite taken.
I'm going to flip it around to the side that I didn't bite. I'm okay with that double dipping.
Because didn't touch your mouth.
Yeah, but not the part that was in someone else's mouth.
What about a chip?
Chip's the same way. Like, just turn the chip a little bit to the part that wasn't in your mouth. I'm okay with that.
And see, I do that out of courtesy for people who don't like double dipping. And also because normally the side that you didn't bite is easier and stronger to get whatever you're dipping. So you just turn it anyway. So just my thoughts on that.
No, can you drink after people? Like, if Engineer Colton has like a glass of water, can you like drink out of that glass of water after him?
If I think about it too much, probably not. But if I'm desperate, if I'm like, I need something to drink, I'll drink it. So probably different opinions on that one as well.
Yeah, that's weird because that's probably like less sanitary than double dipping. Like, it's probably more of a health hazard. But I don't have a problem with that. But I have a problem with like a portion of their chip, that chip touched their lips.
Hey, so if whatever your opinion may be, tweet us.
Yeah, tweet
us. Just let us know what you think.
With a hashtag double dip.
Hashtag double dip. I like that.
Hashtag double dip.
Now, you've had a few cheese crackers. I'm about to dive into my first.
I think I'm on my third.
You are on your third. Now, you're devouring them quickly. Must mean you like them to an extent. I mean, I
don't know if it's too early for an opinion.
You can give an opinion.
I'm enjoying these more than I thought I would.
And you know what that may be? It may be the brand cheese. Because like I said, on the snacks that I had earlier this week, they were not brand name. They were not the actual Handi-Snacks. They were just an off-brand that was trying to make them cheaper. And you know what? It was kind of a rubbery cheese, but whenever I dipped mine into the cheese, it wasn't like that. It was kind of like, okay, I'll say it this way. It was like nacho cheese that hadn't been warmed up yet. It was kind of still that harder cheese kind of, but it wasn't like cold. It wasn't weird. It just hadn't been. If you were to warm this cheese up, it would be like a nacho cheese and kind of like.
I will say that the cheese is much better than I remember it. I don't know when they made the switch to real cheese, but good move, guys. And it still doesn't like feel like real cheese, but it tastes better than I thought it would.
And I think partially, and now what I just did, I had an entire breadstick. I didn't break it off.
No, I took
the whole breadstick in my mouth.
I'm gonna get as much cheese as possible because we're supposed to finish the entire thing.
And I'll tell you what, I think it's worth it. I think it's worth getting a big chunk of cheese and doing the whole cracker, because then it may be something in your mind, but I feel like you can kind of I'm looking at Josh.
I didn't like that. I didn't like that. It was too much cheese.
Maybe he grabbed more than I. Now, what would you say the amount of cheese that I grabbed? Was that moderate, heavy, or just kind of in between?
That's almost heavy.
Okay, so I grabbed an almost heavy amount of cheese. I'm gonna go ahead.
That's a little less than what I just did. That made me want to spew on our table.
Now I feel like this is a perfect amount for me. Like I eat the whole thing because normally at this point, if I'm having one of these snacks, I'm having it because I'm hungry and I kind of want to get to the point. I kind of want to finish it. So I'm going to try and get a bunch of cheese. Okay, that's a heavy amount of cheese, I'd say right there.
I'm really enjoying this snack. I'm really looking forward to the Ritz cracker one because I thought I would like that one better. Mm-hmm. I wasn't crazy about the breadstick one at all, but I'm really liking this. Disclaimer, I remember last time we talked about this. We were in a place where we were ready for a snack. We weren't super hungry. We weren't really full. We were ready for a snack. We made sure to eat and to time that out. Today, we're filming. We're recording this at what time? It's almost 6.
Yeah, almost 6 o'clock.
It's almost 6, so it's probably been about 12 hours since I've had anything to eat.
And that can affect the way that you feel.
I did that math wrong. That means I ate at like 4 this morning, right?
Yeah, that's true. That's much too early.
It's been like 10 hours.
The last time I ate was at lunch, and I had a rather good sized lunch.
I didn't eat lunch. I had breakfast. I had 1 burrito, and I didn't have anything for lunch. So I would say I'm pretty hungry. So this snack is
now contrary to you. I am not extremely hungry right now. I'm kind of in that in between spot, but I still feel a little full. I mean, maybe it's the pants I'm wearing. Maybe it's making me feel like I'm full. But I still feel okay right now, but I'm still enjoying this. Now, I'm going to do something crazy here. I know you're going to think I'm crazy for this, but 2 breadsticks with cheese. And this is something I do regularly with this. I don't know, maybe it's just the way to eat. Maybe I just put too much in my mouth, but two breadsticks at a time.
Well, he's doing that. I ran into a dilemma. I have 1 breadstick left and about half of my cheese left. So I'm really going to have to I'm going to have to double dip, which I don't like to do. I'm just going to have to just cake on this cheese. Oh, man.
And we're just getting as close as we can. Oh, that is a lot of cheese.
It's half of the packaging on 1 breadstick.
That's probably about so much cheese. Oh, that is funny.
Well, it was like I was drinking the cheese. It was not pleasant.
Okay, now I've loaded up on cheese here, but I also had 2 breadsticks left. Take a look at that. It is a lot of cheese. I've got about, I'd say 50% of my 2 crackers is full of cheese. Just about.
Yeah, I had so much cheese on my last cracker, and my last breadstick. It's not a cracker. The next one's a cracker. I'm excited for those. I had so much cheese, I felt like I was drinking the cheese.
It was just a lot.
It was so much cheese.
So maybe, but me, however, I'm pretty much out of cheese, and I spread it out kind of evenly. That's kind of my goal every time I eat, is to try and finish everything evenly. I don't do it in sections. I know some people prefer to do things in sections. They can't mix their turkey and their mashed potatoes and their corn. But I mix it all together so I can finish it at the same time.
Do we want to rate these separately, or just as one thing?
I think definitely separately, just because they can also sell them separately. So do you want to do that now?
No,
and then take on the next one?
Yeah, no, let's eat the Ritz cracker first.
Okay, so that way we have a comparison.
So I'm opening the packages the same way. I was just as worried as I was the first time.
I was equally as okay, except I knew that the crackers weren't going to fly as far as the breadsticks may have. But I still opened it okay.
What's the deal here? My crackers are upside down.
Mine are upside down and broken.
If you've ever had a Ritz cracker, you know that there is a top and a bottom. You can just tell, like, one side's kind of flat and gross looking, the other side's very
Elegant.
full of life. So are we supposed to, do we have to use the red stick?
I don't believe so, but I'm going to for the sake of, because they included it.
The size of the cracker, you can just go ahead and dip in the cheese.
Yeah, I did notice that. I was thinking about that. Can you just make
It's
it?
probably just preference. I am going to use the spreader that comes with it. I'm going to spread the entire cracker.
Since my first cracker was broken, I'm going to do half the cracker. And as Josh takes his first bite, his expression just about is equal. He says it's okay in the expressions of his face. He's actually taking away or adding. You are adding cheese, aren't you?
I'm making it, spreading it a little better.
Spreading it some. I'd say he enjoyed it.
I like the Ritz cracker. It was buttery. It was light, flaky.
Gotcha.
I don't know if I like the cheese, which is crazy because I just enjoyed the cheese with the breadsticks.
The cheese does taste different, doesn't it?
Is it different cheese? It can't be right.
It may be the mix of just the way that the cracker tastes because it's different than...
I know the crackers are good on their own.
Yes.
I don't know about with this cheese. Let me try again.
As he's doing that, I don't know. I don't know. I think just from after the first impression from my cracker, he's kind of coating this on with cheese right now on all corners. The way that I feel right now, just after this first impression of having this half a cracker, I would prefer the breadsticks. I know that may seem strange just because the Ritz crackers are excellent, but if I had to have the crackers with the cheese, which I would, because the cheese would help kind of maybe make it a little bit less dry, I would prefer the breadsticks. I really would.
I will say this, right now, the breadsticks were significantly cleaner. I'm having a hard time keeping clean with the little red spreader stick.
Now, on the last half a cracker that I did, because my last cracker was just split in half, on that one I dipped it. I can say that I was more pleased with using the red stick, only because it was spread better.
You feel accomplished. Like
I feel accomplished.
You worked for that snack.
I really did. And here's the thing, though. Looking at the breadstick version, I didn't feel any less accomplished just dipping it, because that's what it was meant to do. The crackers, however, were not meant to be dipped. That's why they included the red stick. And with the red stick, I feel fulfilled that I have done exactly what they wanted me to do, and I was fine. Although I still prefer the taste of the breadsticks.
So far, I've had 3 out of 4 crackers, and I desperately want a drink of water. It's making my mouth so dry, even with the cheese. This one, I'm doing a little better job at distributing the cheese. Mm-hmm. So I have just like the perfect amount of cheese left for the cracker I have. So I feel like I've done what they wanted me to do, portion wise, and my mouth is so dry. And
thinking about that now, I kind of agree that the cracker did make my mouth dry. And let's face it, per bite, you're getting more surface area with the cracker than if you were the breadstick. You're getting just more dryness, which is probably why they want you to load up on cheese. So that way you have an equal sensation.
Right, so I'm going to finish my last cracker. Oh no!
The cracker broke.
So I decided to dip the cracker for my last one instead of using the spread stick, and it broke. You probably caught on to that by my reaction.
And that's not a bad idea what Josh just did. He's making a cheese and cracker sandwich.
Yeah, I'm making a little sandwich.
That isn't a bad idea. I'm going to give that a try with my next one because that looks rather good.
I'm making lemonade. Is that the saying?
I have no idea if that's the saying. I've never heard it before. What is it a reference to so I can understand?
I think I've heard this before, probably in movies from the 80s. That if life gives you lemons,
make lemonade.
Make lemonade. But you have to have water and sugar and stuff, or else it's really tart.
Yeah, extremely tart. And then now, in this case, what's happening?
Yeah, so I'm going to eat my little sandwich now.
Life has given him crackers and cheese, and he's making a cheese and cracker sandwich. And we do apologize for the dead space.
We're both eating at the same time.
And last time that worked with the Oreo, just because we had less of them, we have just taken on two snacks. And in total, what was that? 12 pieces of snack. So that was a lot, considering we had 3 Oreos last time.
We just ingested 210 calories.
I almost forgot about the extra 10 calories. Thank you for reminding me. Now I have to go run those off.
Yeah, I will say what these reminded me of. I told you this when we decided on the snack. Is that that smell of the lunch pail, like not the like aluminum ones, but
right.
like the plastic ones,
the flexible ones.
Yeah, that you'd like crack it open with the normally it's Velcro. And that smell that just like hits your face of old sandwich bags.
And freezer burn.
Yeah, that's like when we decided on the snack, like that's what I thought of. I just thought of when I was a little boy wanting to be a big boy, taking my lunch to school in my Pell. I had a Pell because I didn't do paper bags.
No, neither did I.
It's just that smell that just like hits you right away. It just reminds you of like school lunch.
Yeah, and you know what? I love that smell because I knew it was about to happen. I was about to be fed. I was ready for that. And even thinking of that now, like some days, I don't know if you do this, but sometimes I'll have that kind of experience where I want to take a lunch pail with me just because that's what's more convenient at the moment rather than taking something or buying out because maybe you're trying to save some money. Mm-hmm. But I still get that great sensation whenever I open up the bag like, oh, this is awesome. I'm about to have a great lunch.
Yeah. Now as an adult, though, as a big boy, no longer a little boy.
We are taller.
When I want to like bring my lunch to work, I bring it in Tupperware. I don't even own a lunch pail. I'm a big boy.
And what big boy needs a lunch pail? Mm-hmm. Obviously, this big boy. I need a lunch pail.
Engineer Colton, when he brings his lunch to work, he brings it in a brown bag, which is classic.
Classic. Take it to school lunch.
Yeah, but then you constantly have to be buying more bags.
Yeah, you have to throw those away.
With the classic lunch pail, you can use it all year long.
Yes. And then you get that awesome smell, like right before you have lunch. It's gonna be like, oh man, I cannot wait to have this lunch. It's gonna be so good because my mom made it.
For some reason, it also reminds me of the smell of chlorine. I haven't smelt one in a really long time. A lunch pail. Maybe it's just like memories of being a little boy.
And then now you're a big boy.
Yeah. So we both finished our snack.
Yeah, they were both done, stacked nearly identically.
So I'll say this. You just said it earlier. I prefer the breadstick, which is crazy because going into this, I thought it was going to be opposite. I thought it was going to be all about the cracker. I didn't even want to try the breadstick because I'm like, oh, it's going to make my mouth dry. The Ritz cracker made my mouth dry.
I had to take a drink of water, and so did you.
Yeah,
we both had to drink some water after the Ritz crackers.
I tried not to. I was going to see how long I could go.
It was bothering me.
Yeah, and after like 1.5, it was unbearable.
Yeah, and I feel the same way. Like me coming into this, I didn't know what to expect. I had the breadsticks recently, so I was okay. But as far as the Ritz crackers, I couldn't really remember what they tasted like. But knowing now, just having both, one after the other, I do prefer the breadsticks as well.
I'm going to second that and go with the breadsticks over my initial idea of the Ritz cracker.
And I think it's a smart move to make.
So the rating, I'm going to rate the Ritz cracker, not just the cracker and cheese altogether, 2 out of 5.
Oh boy. That's a low rating.
That's the lowest one I've given to date.
Which has only been 2 snacks, so.
To this day, that's my lowest rating.
Wow. And you were ready to give it a 5 out of 5.
Yeah, for some reason, I don't know if it was like the butteriness of the cracker, but the cheese tasted different. The cheese did not taste as good.
No, it didn't.
Now, on the breadstick one, the cheese tasted better, but it's still, like, the idea of it was just really gross. Mm-hmm. So for that one, I'm going to do 3 out of 5. Because I preferred the breadstick. But still, the cheese kind of freaked me out.
So if you were to be talking to someone about this snack and they said, would you recommend it? Would you recommend the breadsticks?
I would definitely recommend the breadsticks over the Ritz cracker.
And if they said, what about the Ritz cracker? What would you recommend simply about that Ritz cracker alone?
I would say make sure you have either a water or a grape juice or
milk,
apple juice.
Milk can't go with everything. We can't keep saying milk is the favorite of the snack.
Grapefruit juice or any type of fruit juice. I'm not going to recommend any soda, so sorry, soda companies. Okay with Gatorade. Make sure to have a Gatorade nearby or a Powerade.
Any kind of fluid.
Or a Capri Sun.
Except maybe automobile fluid. You don't want that.
Or a water, or a flavored water.
All of those are acceptable.
Even a coffee drink.
Hey, coffee might not be too bad with that.
Yeah.
Thinking about it. Might be thinking about it now, I kind of want a coffee.
Just no soda. You don't need soda, guys.
No, sorry. Soda won't make it with these. As far as my rating goes.
Yeah, I would say go for it. Just make sure you have something to drink.
Yeah,
that's what I would say.
Definitely. And as far as my rating, if I were to recommend, okay, we'll do the 3 out of whatever first. With the breadsticks, as far as a snack on its own, I'm thinking about this. I've had to go back and forth in my mind, and I'd give it a 4 out of 5. Breadsticks.
Really?
I do enjoy the breadsticks. I've enjoyed them the whole time that I've ever known that they've existed. I've enjoyed the breadsticks.
How'd you feel about the cheese?
The cheese I was expecting, and I knew it was going to be what it was. The cheese I knew what I was going into, and it was going to be really good. I mean, it wasn't like amazing. The cheese wasn't like amazing, but they have to make it to where it'll stay good for a while. And they have to put preservatives or whatever. And knowing that though, the cheese was still good.
Yeah, I was going in remembering like bad memories of the cheese, and it tasted better than I remembered, but it's still something about it. I don't know.
I think it's just that packaged taste.
Yeah,
being in plastic for who knows how long. Whenever these were made, I have no idea. But just that plastic taste of like, well, that's just what it is to keep it lasting for a while.
I didn't mind. I thought I would. I didn't mind the little red stick in the Ritz cracker, the red spread stick.
Don't eat that. Don't eat it.
I didn't.
Okay, yeah, it's still in your package. Good. It says not to eat it, so whatever you do, don't eat the red stick.
Don't do it, guys.
And as far as the Ritz crackers and cheese dip on my end, I think I'd have to go with you on the 2 out of 5.
Yeah.
Just same thing as the Oreo, the dryness. Even with the cheese, the dryness was just a little overwhelming, and the stick was fine and everything, but the cheese did taste different. And it wasn't different in a good way, it was different in a bad way, I felt.
I will say this, since we finished, I've had belches, which is...
I have too.
I've been burping this entire time. I've been having to move my mouth away from the mic to burp. And I'm burping up like gross cheese. So that right now, that doesn't affect my rating. I feel like my rating still stands with burping up gross cheese.
I think anytime you mix liquid and a food together, that's going to happen.
Yeah.
But it's the taste that comes with it that matters.
Mm-hmm. So I've had enjoyable burps, not to be gross. But I've had some burps that I'm like, oh, that was nice.
They didn't make you cringe, which is what...
Like I didn't want more burps, but I wasn't like, that wasn't a bad burp.
Everybody knows those burps where it's like, oh my goodness, I hope I never have to taste it again because it was disgusting. Mostly eggs and chicken. Chicken has been terrible for me, even though I love chicken. I love chicken, but I hate the burps of like chicken afterwards. But we won't get into that now. So yeah, overall, I'd give the Ritz crackers a 2 out of 5, and I'd give the breadsticks 4 out of 5. And if someone were to ask, I would definitely recommend the breadsticks without any extras because they're just good, solid by themselves. I didn't need anything afterwards. But as far as the Ritz go, if I were to recommend them, I'd say definitely have a liquid with you of some sort.
Definitely.
But if you don't, I wouldn't eat them. I would just go for the breadsticks because they're going to cost the same in the end. And the breadsticks might even be cheaper because they don't have the Ritz name on it. So that's my verdict.
I think it's good.
I think so too. I think we got a lot accomplished today.
So if you have any more suggestions, you can just send them to our Twitter at Podsnack. And we made this was a suggestion, so we may try whatever snack you suggest next time.
Yeah, and you never know what happens. We got a lot of suggestions and we got a lot of good ones, but this one just seemed like, you know what? It had snack even in the name. Handi-Snacks.
Yeah.
And so, hey, portable snack, you can nearly put it in your pocket. And even if the cheese isn't going to melt because it's not going to go anywhere, it's not going to leak out of anything because it's in a package. So you can pull it out of your pocket any time of the day.
So next time, I don't know, we'll probably try to veer away from Nabisco next time.
Yeah.
This is our second Nabisco snack.
We didn't even realize that these were Nabisco until we brought them in the room.
We were getting ready to record and we were like, huh?
So, hey, Nabisco, this isn't because of you. This is it just happened to work out this way.
Yeah, calm down. Don't get like a big head. Yeah, you're a big company, make tons of snacks, but it's not like we're endorsing you. If you want to send us free snacks, that's fine.
Fine.
Bring it. Just do it. Don't make a big deal about it.
Nabisco, please send us more snacks.
You're listening to Snackology.
You're listening to the Snackology podcast. Hey, thanks so much for listening today.
Yeah, our goal today was to cut our time in half, which I don't know if we did that.
No, not anymore. It was just too much fun. You can't just not talk. If we can talk about snacks for 45 minutes.
Yeah, if Engineer Colton was here, it'd be a 2.5 hour podcast.
This would take forever. But if you've made it all the way through, thanks so much for listening to the second episode about the Ritz cracker, the snack that makes a young boy feel older. So, hey, thanks so much again. Make sure to tweet us at Podsnack or email us at podsnack@gmail.com so we can get your suggestions.
I didn't even know our email.
Yeah, the email's, like you said last week, a lost art. So we're going to be looking at this snack again next week and just kind of talking about how we feel afterwards. You're going to be traveling, so you're going to kind of have a good experience of how you feel right after that.
Yeah, I'm going to hit the road.
And I'm going to be sticking around, so I'll be able to keep that in mind. So thanks again for listening to the second episode of Snackology. Remember, to help us spread the word about Snackology, we have a lot of cool snacks coming up. We don't even know about them yet, but we know that they're going to be cool because we're going to talk about them.
Yeah, spread the word like a cheese stick over a Ritz cracker.
And make that happen. Hey, also, just to remind everyone, we are not culinary experts. We are not experts about food.
Yeah, I don't know most things. I don't know a lot of things.
That's why we have to look up this history. But we're just two guys that like talking about it.
Yeah. I mean, I know enough to tell that was butter on the cracker.
We can tell the taste, so we know whenever cheese has preservatives.
But we're just not like food idiots.
And we can read, so that helps a lot.
Yeah.
And we can see.
But we're not experts.
But we're not experts.
No. You're listening to Snackology.
Snackology podcast. Hey, thanks again for tuning in today. We're going to have another episode here in 2 weeks, so just keep in tune for that. Make sure to follow our Twitter account to keep up with what's going on at Snackology. Thank you so much. We'll see you in 2 weeks.